Okay, I think we're going to go ahead and get started. Welcome again to our lesson on solar energy. My name is Sandy Day, and I'm your facilitator for this session. I wanted to tell you just a little bit about myself quickly so that you can kind of get a sense of where I am coming from and sort of the quality of things we'll be talking about here over the next hour or so. But I am a former middle school teacher. I taught social studies for 14 years to 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. And let me tell you what, there is nothing more exciting, in my humble opinion, than working with middle school students, especially in the area of social studies. If you have a middle school child or had one or have been around them, you know that that's where they begin to develop a very significant sense of fair. And it no longer is limited only to the playground. It is now about society. And there's nothing, in my opinion, more exciting than watching a middle school kid get righteously up in arms about an unright and figure out a way to make things more fair. I left that dream job and became an administrator for the Omaha Public Schools in K-12 programming. I did that for another 13 years, and then I retired from the Omaha Public Schools. I'm coming to you from Omaha, Nebraska. And I worked in 21st century programming in Council Bluffs, Iowa, just across the river from Omaha. And I was their grant writer and their project director for 6 years. They started with a middle school program, and when I left there to be an independent consultant, we had grown that program to K-12. And so I have a lot of experience in curriculum writing for after school. That's where the majority of the lessons that we created in Council Bluffs came from across between some really excellent teaching minds. I'm not putting myself in that bucket, but also some PBS content that is, in my opinion, not surpassed by any other entity that creates short pieces for kids to learn from. So that's a little bit about me. I'm going to take a liberty here, and I don't know how you feel about this, but I kind of am looking at this as not just like a one and done sort of a session. I'm looking at this as we've created a little professional learning community here this morning. And we came together over a solar unit. That's one thing that we have in common. We seem to be interested in outdoor education. But there are lots of things that I'm sure many of you are passionate about in your after school programs. And I'm certain that in this group of 18 people right here, we have some experts in pretty much any area. My hope is that we'll continue to share information with one another. And I don't mean we need to be best friends in email, but like I said, I've got a bunch of stuff that I've written, a lot lately, but in the past, but other programs that I've tripped over, like the iCivics program. Again, I'm really into service learning and that sort of thing. So I have just a ton in that bucket on my Google Drive, and I'd love to share anything that I have with you. The key would be me knowing that you are interested in it. So if you don't mind, would you mind just saying hi to me? Camera on or off, whatever works. I know some things may be bandwidth issues at this point. But I think what I'll do is, if you don't mind, I would like to just call on you as you appear on my screen, and that way we don't have to wonder who's first or next or last or whatever. So anyway, you know what, you guys? I got a listing last Friday of the first 11 of you that had signed up, and we have someone here from Taos, New Mexico. Is that exciting? So if you could say your name, maybe where you're joining us from today, because that's kind of groovy in my opinion. And then maybe that one thing, or if you have two things that you're really, really passionate about that you would really like to be able to get more information about, that would be super duper. And I wanted to point out one other thing. We do have in our group today a facilitator, a technician by the name of Nam. He is on your screen in a box, I'm sure, but just note to self, he is there to help us out through anything we might have technology issues with. So I'm looking and I see Lorna from Chadron. You're first up. Good morning, Lorna. How is it going?
Good morning. I'm well. Thank you so much. So happy to be here. Lorna Eliason from Chadron, Nebraska. When I got the kit in the mail the other day, thank you for sending that. I realized we've done this in summer science camps, and we've done it after school. So, man, we love this kit. I didn't realize it was going to be exactly like what all my really smart 3rd and 4th grade teachers have already done after school during the summer. So I'm telling you, it works. Even works after school when the sun isn't so bright. Like during the summertime, it actually works. And we've done solar cookers with Pringles cans and cooked hot dogs in the summer, and I was skeptical about that too, but it worked. So hey, I'm a believer.
Oh, that's awesome, Lorna. Thank you. Hey, everybody, if it looks like I'm looking down to write, I am definitely doing that because I'm keeping notes on what it is that you're telling me that you're interested in. So Lorna, I'm hearing from you, anything more outdoor education you'd love, right?
Yeah. I'm all about outdoor education. At this same site I'm talking about, that's our 3rd and 4th grade building. We have our school gardens, which are 36 4x4 little raised beds,
Awesome.
which I got to be the caretaker of all summer and all spring because we didn't get to have the students engaged. So yes, I love to garden, and I'm really passionate about that. And we've had the students, I wanted them to have something to come back to this fall, to actually something growing. And so we've been able to do some of that. And with the way the situation is, we can't do like we normally do our garden clubs, but I have had the students in the garden weekly every time that I'm over there, a small group, at least small groups of them. So we certainly like to do all that outdoor education piece. I'm probably more passionate about it than some of my college students, but that is because of where I'm at and what my interests are. So that's what's hard for me is like, yeah, I'd love to get out there and do this outdoor education, but you can't really make other people passionate about it if they're not. So a lot of this kind of falls on me.
I hear you.
Because it's a passion.
Thank you, Lorna. Hey, Brandy, you're next. Where are you from and what are you passionate about in after school?
I am from Lexington. I'm the after school coordinator here at our 2nd and 3rd grade building. And I really just like getting the kids, just getting them to be able to actually be engaged in whatever we're doing. I think that getting them to do anything with the plants and trees, outdoor activities where they get to actually go and do something where they're not just sitting listening to me blab or whoever's instructing, getting them outside to do something with their hands, getting them involved with whatever we're doing. I actually already had a s'mores activity planned, but I wasn't really sure how we were going to pull that off exactly for our after school program. So I was like, ooh, sign me up for that.
That's awesome. Thank you for that, Brandy. That's excellent.
Yes.
Thanks. Laura, where are you from and what are you interested in?
Good morning. I'm Laura Nargis. I am an extension educator located out in the Panhandle. I'm from Sydney. And I am looking to get more involved with our after school program here locally. And most of my school enrichment programs usually are around entrepreneurship or agriculture. So those are probably the 2 areas that I'm most passionate about, but looking to expand some of the curriculum that I'm able to offer.
Excellent. Awesome. Thank you so much. Extension, we love you. You rock. Sarah, how are you today?
I'm so good. Thank you. So I'm Sarah Lehman. I am from Omaha, helping to support the before and after program in Millard schools. And I'm excited for any activity that can not only engage our kids, but engage our employees as well, and keep them excited and keep them sticking around and helping. So
excellent.
Looking forward to all sorts of ideas.
Excellent, Sarah. I'll be visiting with Mr. Castillo later today, talking with him. Yeah, talking with him about some other. He's a director, by the way, for their after-school program. And I'm loving what he's saying about really putting some more activity that has to do with academic support in specific places, and this is the place to be to talk about that. So welcome. It's exciting to see you here. Awesome,
Thank you.
thank you. And then next on my screen is Marlee. Now, Marlee is the one who, at least that's where I sent her kit, was Taos, New Mexico. Marlee, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're passionate about.
Hello, my name is Marlee. Let me turn on my video, sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes. Oh, we have two Marlees. We have Marlee Espinoza and Marlee Marcus. Okay, very good.
Okay. Country.
Hey, Marlee, Espinoza, we're having a little bit of trouble with your audio. Would it be possible for you to just type in the chat and we'll read it out? Where you're from and what you're interested in, and I'll make sure I can circle back to you as needed. Let's plan that. Okay, how about we go to our second Marlee? I've never even met a Marlee, and now I have two. This is so exciting. Marlee Marcus, are you available to tell us where you're from? We hope you're from, because that's where I sent your kit, was Taos, New Mexico. Okay, well, we're going to do the same thing with Marlee Marcus. If we could put in the chat those two pieces, what you're interested in and where you're from, that would be great. Hey, Ron, I see you're up next.
It's kind of looking like if they joined on the conference website, they're not able to use their microphone maybe. I see a comment in the chat.
Oh. Okay, and now I see people typing in. Okay, very good. Nam, if you're on, can you take a peek at that? And should we have them come out and come back in, or what would you suggest we do? And we'll wait for that response there. Let's see if we can get a couple more, and if not, we'll resolve that issue and we'll just get on with the lesson here. They can, okay, he's suggesting that you try to rejoin if you cannot use your microphone. And we hope that fixes it. Okay.
Hey, Sandra, it's
Yeah.
Megan Crawford. I had to
Megan.
actually physically go into the Zoom program in order for me to use my microphone. So if they're on the conference website, they need to download Zoom and get into to this on Zoom, like the actual.
Oh, I see. So they need to have, so I think in the conference website, they really needed to have scrolled down further because there's the two ways to come in from what I saw.
Correct.
Yeah, okay, groovy. I gotcha. Okay, thanks, Megan. I appreciate that. Okay. Okay. Yeah, and we're seeing that now also from the Get Connected folks, and that is use the app instead of the web page. Okay. And then Marlee Espinoza is saying that she is from Taos, New Mexico, and she's passionate about providing anything that, and you can all see this, passionate about providing anything in the way of opportunities for children in the community after school. Let's take a look and see if, let's see, I'm not knowing how all of you got in here. Maybe we'll stop this part right now since we're having mic issues for some of us. And then if you could, we will save this chat. If you wouldn't mind adding in the chat at some point something that you're interested in as well as outdoor education, that would be great. Or if it is literally all just outdoor education, let me know that too. I think I mentioned that there'll be a point, or maybe I didn't, there'll be a point at which for those of us who got the kit, we're going to be walking through making this solar oven right now, because there are a couple minor things that could happen that can be a pain in the neck, and I just wanted to remove that obstacle. But when we go to put it outside, I want to, and have it bake, of course, I want to walk you through some other outdoor education pieces that we have available. And then also, oh, thank you, and the chat will be recorded and saved. And then also, I wanted to, if we have time, I want to show you the new Beyond School Bells website. I don't know if you've been there lately. We had a complete remake. I'd say we, the Roman we, that's Jennifer. Our wonderful Jennifer was able to work with FireSpring and make some amazing changes to our webpage. I highly suggest that you bookmark that page if you have not already. And you'll find all of the curriculum that we're going to talk about today is there. Depending on if it's a large unit, for example, we're going to talk the solar unit today is only 3 lessons. So I didn't think it was all that necessary to write out an overview. However, if you are looking at the triathlon content, the 7-topic 22 lesson, I actually wrote an entire overview, and we'll get to that a little later, but in my mind, that version of the triathlon that ends in the culmination of planting a bare root tree, to me, if as a previous director, if I were looking at my year and going to plan out my spring clubs, April would simply be Arbor Day month for me. I mean, 22 lessons, you can do 1 a day, and then the culmination would be planting the tree. There's another version of that unit. But so some of these will have an overview to them, the units that are, especially the large ones. The small ones, no, it just didn't seem like it made too much sense to do that. Okay, so I wanted to also tell you that I actually practiced yesterday outside in conditions that were just literally exactly like this weather that you're seeing behind me. And what I found was there was way too much wind because the audio was continuing to, when I played it back, it was just really hard to hear my words. And I thought, well, the next best thing, I guess, is to at least show you that it's nice outside. I don't know. Anyway, I was really disappointed in that. I can't begin to tell you. I had to have a whole nother cup of coffee over that this morning because I really wanted to be outside. But it's just way too windy and gusty and all that. Okay, so the unit that we're talking about today is the solar unit, and I want to start by, let me get your, for those of you who had signed up by last Friday, you got a package from me. You got a package with all kinds of groovy stuff in it, didn't you? And those of you who didn't get this package yet, I think, I'm looking at my list here. I got my little cheat sheet here. Marley, yours is supposed to be coming Saturday. Sorry. Jeremy, if you're on, yours is coming tomorrow. Sorry. I don't know. That was kind of crazy. So I started by giving you each a copy of the actual printed unit, the whole unit. Even though we're just doing the solar unit, I wanted you to, or the solar lesson, I wanted you to see the whole unit. And so if you have that, you can take it out, take a look at it right now. But I just want to talk a little bit about the other 2 lessons that are in this unit. Now, and again, I'm going to share a document later on that's going to show you not just this particular unit and the lessons, but also another 20-some units. And I will be sending you, when this presentation is over, probably tomorrow, 2 documents. One is a PDF that it shows you the overview of everything I'm going to talk about today. The other one is, that's on a 1-page sort of a chart. The second PDF I'm going to send you is literally the descriptions of all of this content. So it'll be the name of the unit, who it was written for, how many lessons there are, the subject area that it addresses, or multiply addresses, whatever the case may be. But in your box of materials, those of you who received it, you got the whole solar unit. So the first lesson there, just so that you know, is light comes from the sun. You're going to love this video that's embedded in here. It's about 3 minutes long, and it talks about the fact that the sun is just like a fusion. It is an explosion happening constantly. And we get lots of stuff from the sun, and one thing is light. So lesson number 1 is you're going to be, and again, all this stuff is right at your house. You're going to have students take a regular Amazon box, right, like this, and they're going to create a cardboard house. And they'll use things like markers, and they'll use scissors, and they'll use, this is my favorite roof. Ready? As a folder. Yeah. Make a roof. Make a side that is completely closed off, and then leave one open so that they can put their little people inside. And then what we're going to notice in doing all of that is that we're creating darkness. Well, what are we going to do to get light inside this house? Well, through a series of other things they'll use, like a water bottle emptied, clear water bottle emptied, and possibly some food coloring, because that makes some groovy looking light. They're going to cut a hole in their box, and they're going to stuff that water bottle in there, and they're going to practice with different colors. And didn't bring my dye out, my food dye, but food dye is part of that lesson as well. But I did bring out my multiple colored paper. So different food dyes will look different inside this water and will create a different kind of light. Now, and of course, I mean, if you're doing this with K2s, and this is what I tried it on, was my granddaughter, Emily. And of course, she had to take it home, right? I showed it to you. She loved it. She put all of her little people in it, and she's playing with it apparently on a fairly regular basis, my children say. And I mean, it's become a little community in this little house, and now it has a skylight, a sunlight. The interesting thing is, of course, she can play with it at night with a flashlight. She can make light out of darkness using that device of a flashlight. And I, even though this was written for a younger student, if I was going to do something like this, and I would, in fact, do something like this with middle school students, I would make a point and share with them that in many third world countries that have experienced tremendous upheaval due to weather and climate change, many of them aren't even rebuilding their electrical grid the way it was. Many of them are using sophisticated solar devices in those areas. And again, I think a secondary student could really get on with this activity as well. Okay, so then the second lesson, of course, is what else we get from the sun. We get heat, and we're going to build a solar oven here in a minute. You're going to also love this particular video when you see it. All of my lessons kind of start out that way. I like to have an accessing prior knowledge question. And I know that you know this, but in doing that, what we do is we pull up memories that this child already knows, and then we're going to extend that learning to another level so that the next time it's pulled up to be extended again, we're deepening the level of learning at each opportunity that we dip in there. So this particular thing, this setting up the question is, first of all, have you ever had s'mores? You know, and that'll start a conversation right then and there. But also, how did you cook them? Over a fire pit. Oh, well, we can't play with fire. And after school, no. Grandma Sandy would get fired. We can't do that. So what could we use? What else could we use? So we get them to thinking about other sources of heat. And that's where, of course, the sun comes in. There's an absolutely wonderful 1 minute, 54-second Science U video that is embedded in this lesson that is just a hoot and a holler. And I think you're going to adopt the jingle as possibly your after school song when it's all over, and then you'll be sick of it. And then you'll be sending me email notes saying, why did you do this to me? Okay, that's the solar oven, and we're going to build that in one shake. But the last lesson, if you got the content together, is in the unit is all about different colors and the heat from the sun. So we're going a little bit deeper with that heat learning that we learned the previous lesson about the solar oven. We're going to go a little bit deeper. And in this particular instance, we're going to be taking ice cubes. Boy, those are melting fast. And we're going to be sitting them on different colors of paper, and we're going to put them in the sun, and we're going to see which ones melt the fastest, and we're going to keep track of that. We're going to make a graph. We'll make even a chart. We'll even take some and we'll put some in the shade and see, and again, still melting or measuring the melt rate in the shade with those same colors, and how far we go down that road. So that's the overall solar unit in the 3 lessons that we're talking about today. And again, right now what we're going to do is we're going to build a solar oven. So I'm going to give myself just a little bit of room here. Oh, hey, did you notice on the sticky note that I left you on your lesson, for those of you who got it? Those of you who didn't, I'll make sure that I give it to you too. But did you notice that the packing peanuts were dissolvable in water? Oh, that's a science lesson in and of itself. I love it, I love it, I love it. Okay, so Sandy, stop, just put that away. Okay, I needed to get some room here because we're gonna
So
make a
Sandy,
solar.
aren't those the peanuts that were invented at University of Nebraska? Are they
Yes,
the,
I believe they are. I believe
Pretty
they
sure.
are, Lorna.
Yeah. They're the ones out of,
Yeah.
they were cornstarch, aren't they cornstarch? Weren't they in-
Cornstarch. Yes, cornstarch. But I mean,
Neat.
we could do so
A
much
neat
with that
connection to
activity.
UNL, a neat connection to University of Nebraska.
Nicely done, Lorna. All right. Okay, so what did you get in your, you got some mallows. How did you like the way I wrapped your graham crackers? In bubble wrap. You got, of course, some saran wrap. You know, the first round of saran that I bought, I thought I was getting a deal from Amazon. I've done this a lot in this pandemic. And I got 4 300-foot wrappers of 300-foot long containers of cling wrap. They wouldn't even fit in the pizza box. Oh my gosh, what a bad idea. Anyway, you got cling wrap, you got some tin foil, you got some chocolate bars. And yes, you're welcome. I sent you extra because why not? Live it up. It's chocolate. You got some tape, more packing peanuts that are dissolving in water. How fun. And then black construction paper, right? All right. Well, I'll tell you what. I bet you already know how all of this goes together. I'm just going to scooch back a little bit. But essentially, the bottom of your pizza box is where we need to put the construction paper, right? Because that's where you're going to put the graham cracker with the chocolate and the mallow. You're going to sit that on the black construction paper. And then you're going to cut the lid to have a flap. And that's where, if you're doing this with kinder through grade 2, what I would suggest, oh, hold on, let me stop for a second. This is the teacher kit. Okay, this is the teacher kit. I picked a 16-inch box because mainly everything would fit in it. But the students' kits that are coming after this activity is over, and probably I'll start shopping for that stuff over the weekend and get it out next week, they're going to be 10-inch boxes, okay? And if you're going to be doing this with the littlest ones of all, 2 things. Number 1, you might want to trace the on the lid where to cut, or you may just want to cut, like start one side and then trace the rest of it so that they can just follow along. So I guess got ahead of myself, but I'm going to go ahead and tape down my black Scotch tape. Feel free to leave your audio on if you have any questions going through this part. But basically, I'm just going to put some tape on my black construction paper and put it on the bottom of my pizza box. And by the way, when you make this, whether you're making it now or whether you make it later, you don't have to do it now with me if you don't want to. I get it. Sorry about that phone ringing. Please remember that you're going to want to keep this box. A, it's your teacher box. B, it's a prototype. Everybody needs to see a prototype when they're making something. And C, you want to continue to make s'mores all the way through the winter time. Now, note to self, if you are planning on, reusing this box, which you probably will, you can do 2 things. You can either put a small little piece of tin foil directly underneath the graham cracker in case it starts to ooze, or you can just change out the black construction paper, whatever you want to do, okay? Okay, so there we go. We got that like that. Okay, move this over here just a second. And here comes, now I don't know about you, but when I'm cutting cardboard, I prefer a carpet knife. because I don't know, I'm not really all that great with scissors on cardboard. I don't know why. So you can decide how you want to draw out, or if you do want to draw out at all. It doesn't really matter to me. But basically, you're going to draw out a flap like this. And you're going to cut that so it'll flop up like this. Okay? So you want to go ahead and maybe do that?
It's really like a window.
Yeah, yeah. Yep.
So how much border do you leave? Like a 2-inch border, or how much of a border on the side of the lid do you draw?
I'm doing that, and you're exactly right. That's about 2 inches. And now, again, this could be really cool, especially if you have a couple of older kids in there. You could vary the size of the flap, because the more space we have to grab the sunlight with that tin foil and direct it down, the faster that's going to cook. So, I mean, you could build in all kinds of different components in terms of measurement and in terms of hypothetical theory to determine which solar oven will bake the s'mores the fastest. And there could be a challenge, and there could be a prize.
Okay. So which
I like it.
side do you leave? It's the bent side, which side do you
Yes.
do not cut?
In my opinion, the best way to do this is the best side not to cut is the top of the lid. So let me cut this and I'll show you. Oh, lock your knife, Sandy Day. Don't expect this to be perfect. Now, if I was standing up, it might be a little bit straighter. I'm sure it would be. Like that.
Okay.
Got it?
Yep.
Groovy. Hey. Hey, it doesn't want to, hold on. Come on now, don't be persnickety. All right, there we go. Okay, I'm checking for understanding here, seeing where everybody is. If you're doing this with me, if you would want to give me a reaction with a thumbs up, that'd be groovy. I'm gonna just wait a minute. Go Big Red, yeah, for sure. Awesome.
Go ahead, don't wait for me. I'm catching up.
Okay. Well, I could start in by just munching on a chocolate bar. I mean, well, I don't know.
Yeah, I have to hide those so I don't.
Okay, next step is to put on our tin foil. And I think in the video, hang on. Yes, I know in the video that they will show you to tape or glue that onto the tin foil onto the top of the lid. And so just for consistency's sake, and I'm sorry I didn't send you any tacky glue, but we'll see if Emily has left me any tacky glue in this, in this container. Boy, that girl goes through some tape and some glue. You know what? I think she didn't, so I'm gonna go with tape. We got this. We got your tape right here. And you're gonna wanna tape on the not shiniest side so that you get more bang for your buck in terms of reflection. For you guys about when I put this out, I'm gonna have to lock that door because my golden retriever because I was going to put it right on the ground. My golden retriever might decide, just go have a snack. All right, groovy. Okay, so I taped the non-flat flashy side, and then I'm going to tape it onto my box. So this is going to allow me to collect the solar light and then direct it down onto the black surface where the food is going to sit. Now, the one thing we're going to put over that when I get going here, or when I put this food down, is saran wrap. Saran wrap helps, so there's two kinds of light, or two kinds of heat here. You're going to be using some direct light creating heat, and then you're going to be using indirect heat. And that's what the saran wrap helps us with. It's sort of like roasting, if you will. Yes. Okay, cool. Okay, so I don't know. There's something about s'mores. I'm not exactly sure what it is about s'mores, other than the fact that it's yummy. But like, to me, if you eat the things separately, like if you have a graham cracker separately, or you have a graham cracker on your s'more, it's just amazing to me how different they taste. Ooh, that one broke. Well, I hope your bubble wrap worked. So I'm gonna, let's see. I don't really need that many. So I'm only gonna make 2, you guys, because I don't need all these s'mores. I'll send you guys all my extra stuff. I'll make 2, one for me and one for my hubby. Okay, so graham cracker down. Chocolate bar, my favorite. Ooh, yummy. Oh, that's gonna be messy. Come on, you can do it, Sandy Day. And then a mallow. You'll notice I already broke into my mallows. Actually, again, it was the granddaughter. She's all right, though. All right. Okay. Oh, boy. You guys, what a mess we're making. But that's all right. Then, okay, so I'm not going to tip it up because then all that stuff would fall over. But, oh, maybe I can tip my computer down. Yes. So look like that, right? Groovy. And then we're going to put saran wrap over the hole so that A, my dog doesn't get it, and B, oh yeah, and then flies don't get it, and C, we get some of that indirect roasting going on in here. You're probably going to need to tape down this saran wrap. I know the video when you see it, the Science U video, and you can use, if you choose to use page protectors for this part here, that's groovy too. They use page protectors. I sent you a page protector. I love page protectors. So you could use those as well. They're a little bit denser, so you'll probably get a little bit more intense heat going. Or if you wanted to, you could use more than one layer of saran here, which I might do just for fun. I haven't done that yet. Ta-da! Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. So hopefully you have something that looks a little like that if you're doing this with me. Oops. Oh, and there's my dog, Murphy Day. Okay, so here was my thinking, and you know, it may turn out to be a bad idea, but I think for those of us who actually made this, if yours is done and ready to go, if you want to go put it outside, I would like to walk us through some additional content while this is cooking, and then we'll check on it in about 20 minutes and see what else we need to do with it. Now, so just so you know, I mean, you could, if you have a sunny day, great. But I also know that this time of year is not going to cook nearly as fast as it would the summer. But the other thing is we can accomplish the same thing with lots of flashlights. So just note to self, if any sort of light can be focused onto this tin foil, and the same thing will happen, it will just take longer. Okay, so I hate to step away, but while I do, you can take a look at my beautiful family room. But I'm going to go right outside that door, and I'm going to drop off my solar oven so it can start to cook. And if you've done this with me, feel free to do the same thing. Okay, just take a second. Boy, it is a gorgeous day out there. That wind seems to have died down quite a bit. You know, that's exactly what I would have expected to have happen, right? Plan on doing an outdoor unit outdoors, and you're going to not be able to hear me. But then halfway through the lesson, everything's going to be hunky-dory. That's annoying. Okay. Now, if you still are working on your solar oven, continue working, because this is all going to be recorded and you're going to get PDF copies of the things I'm going to talk about anyway. But I wanted to, if you don't mind, I wanted to take a moment and walk through a couple of other units that we have for you available to share with you. So I'm going to share my screen real quick. Okay. Can I get somebody to show me a thumbs up or an audio that you can see a Google page right now?
Yep.
Awesome. Groovy, groovy. So I wanted to just take you quickly to the Beyond School Bells website. So it is literally beyondschoolbells.org. Okay. And if you've, oh, I can already see my golden retriever got off the couch. We need to be very careful here, people, because he will go out there and he will steal that stuff. If I have to dash away, that's why. Anyway, if you've been to our website before, you're going to recognize that this is a brand new interface. Things have been beautifully updated. And one sec, do I know him or what? Oh, Murphy. Come on, come on. No, 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 no. Oh, you guys, that was too funny. Yesterday when I did this, our border collie, I was outside. Yesterday when I did practice this lesson, our border collie was outside and she just kept coming and dropping off the ball in my lap, and then I just pitch it over my shoulder. That would have been funny too, but that's not happening today. So the content that I'm going to talk about for the next 20 minutes or so that you can see what else we have to offer is all going to be here. Some of it is there already. A good share of it is not there yet. Okay. So let me just show you the other page I wanted to show you real quick. Oh, I wish you'd stop this. Not you guys. Okay. So this is something I'm going to share with you in our follow-up email. This is, and I know some people don't really necessarily love Google Drive. I like it if you have to share a lot of stuff. I kind of fell in love with it. in the after school world when I was working on that. We had so many people contributing content that was excellent from all over the place. This was just the most expedient way to share it and to get it. So even though there's some stuff on the BSB webpage, all of this is migrating over. So when I send my email to you later, probably tomorrow, I'm going to share a link and you can get in here and download anything you want. Just so you know, and I know you already know this, but I tried to put a PDF of every word lesson that's in here, and if I missed one, I apologize. Because you know, when you're in the drive, word lessons just, or word documents just look like a mess, but they're okay in PDF. At any rate, so there are all of these units are ready to go. There are over 23 units with close to 173 lessons. These were all created from May of 2020. So this spring, when we, or excuse me, March, when we were holed up until today. The most recent one that we just completed was this food waste unit. And one of your biggest partners in the food waste unit, and again, this is a kind of a deep and robust unit, is Keep Nebraska Beautiful. And there are several affiliates across the state. Wherever you're from, I'm sure there's a Keep blank Beautiful, Keep Lexington Beautiful, I know exists. And they have tons of content already, but they also have other things they want to share with you. So we worked with Pete Stadig, who is the state coordinator for Keep Nebraska Beautiful. And together we worked through this content and created some really groovy stuff. But so there's all of these things are available to you free. So here's the PDF. I'm going to share one more thing. I need to stop sharing because I'm moving to a different application. Thank you, Brain. I'm going to reshare now. So of that folder view you just looked at, this is everything that's in there. So it's a one-page chart. Kind of ignore this far right-hand column. We're starting a new project, and it was sort of an internal document to show Jeff and others which of our existing units I think our new project, the TMCX, will work nicely with. So here we have, you can see the name of the curriculum, the number of lessons, the subject area, and the grade level. And there is or there is not a virtual backpack version of that, which was published in May or April. I don't want to sit here and read this to you because I know you can read, but basically, so this is the 60,000 foot level, in my opinion.
Did you say, Sandra, that you're going to send a link
Yes.
to the Google so we
Yes,
can
I will.
download this
I
stuff?
will.
Thank you.
Yes, Brandy. So, and I'll also send you this PDF so that you can see the 60,000 foot level of everything. But this is really the gem of a document that you're going to love. Of all those that you just saw, here's a short description of what that content is. Let me make it a little bit bigger. So if you have any secondary kids in grades 8 through 12 who are interested in taking the ACT test, man, we had a blast this summer creating this, we call it Activate, this ACT test prep content we created it with college students. But the best part was when we field tested it on about, I think it was 12 high school kids in Lincoln, we were able to pair them up with, and they said real live college students. Oh, that made my day. Real live college students who they're emailing back and forth. We're going to continue to be friends. And it was just so nice to talk to somebody who's really already in college. And so this is written for that, where there would be like a coach that could dip in and help the different, because it's just like one competition after another. It's really a fun activity. So there's 5 different lessons broken down into the 5 subject areas that are being tested by that test. Each session is 2.5 hours. So obviously there's a ton of content here that would be spread. We did it in the summer program, but if you did it in an after school, it could be spread over, multiple sessions. And all of the content for that actually resides on this website. Again, you'll get this too. So we have an aviation unit. And again, I say the grades that things were written for, but with very minor modifications, you can make some of this work with pretty much anything. So the aviation unit, literally, we start out by making an airplane, paper airplane. And there's an embedded video that is literally probably one of the coolest things I've ever seen. And it was this guy trying to get into the Guinness Book of World Records for having the longest paper airplane flight. And he did it, and they filmed it, and it's just amazing. And then we use different components of basically what you have laying around the house, like balloons, string, all kinds of things. And we teach yaw, pitch, and roll. We do a balloon rocket activity. They even create a helicopter literally out of a piece of just paper. You go like this with your fingers. You know, remember those old things we used to do that were plastic? I love those. Anyway, but you can do like this, and it literally is a helicopter, and it flies. And again, all this stuff you could make a competition out of. So the team that could create the airplane that went the furthest, you get a extra cookie or whatever, I don't know. And then finally, there's a design challenge at the end. If you, oh yeah, I forgot lesson 5. Lesson 5 is to visit a local airport. And in that lesson, I've added a document. It looks at the state of Nebraska and where all of our large and small airports are. And it is a listing of all the contact information for all of those folks. And if we can be in person, you could maybe schedule a visit. If not, maybe a virtual visit through Zoom or something. And then finally, there's a challenge to create something new that would have to do with airplane travel or air flight, which is going to come in kind of handy because it sounds like our airline industry may never recover in its current form, given this COVID that we're dealing with. City Build 2040, I don't know if you did the early City Build that was done a couple years ago and was highlighted at last year's Get Connected conference, but we revisited this content and we have reframed it for 2040, which is the decade in which our current young people who are in our care right now after school will be our community's new leaders. This content does the exact same thing as the previous version did, but with some updates. And it is literally taking a look at your community right now. So obviously we've built in several field trips. Looking at your community, what does it look like now? How does it function now? So there's some research there on a local level. And then how do you want to make it better? And then they literally use cardboard boxes. I mean, we've got a bunch, right? Contents from your after school program to create their city of 2040 and what they want it to look like. Obviously, there's a component of bringing in local businesses, possibly local business leaders and community leaders to help talk about what our community looks like right now and what the challenges are. And then also, it's also nice to bring them back at the end so that they can see what the students have created. Okay, and this is going to sound pretty goofy, but I have to tell you, of all the content that we've created, I am probably most proud of the college and career readiness content, which is broken down into grades pre-K 2, 3-5, 6-8, and 9-12. That being said, all of these can be applied to any grade level. You would just change the content. I'll give you an example here in a second. So college and career readiness folks came to us and said, is there some way we can come up with something to do after school that supports what we're doing in school? And I thought, well, that's brilliant. I did that in Iowa. I guess I didn't even think about it for over here. So basically we created 15 lessons that are for K-12 students, and they support the 11 college career readiness standards that Nebraska has, and I put a link to that in case you need to take a look at it. So for example, pre-K 2 career day, basically what would you like to learn about in career? Invite people in to talk, maybe parents. What do you do as your career? if you were going to do this on a high school level, maybe you would actually visit different places or virtually visit different places. But again, we're talking pre-K too. Let's take a look at what two specific careers do. One is an engineer, one is a zookeeper. And that zookeeper lesson is going to blow you off your feet because it's really awesome. We create rhinos and giraffes and stuff out of paper, and then we sit them around the room, and then we take care of them. Anyway, and then when I grow up, so you could take that same set of 4 lessons and plop them into a different grade configuration, just changing the content. Then 3 through 5 talk about communication, innovation, and creativity. So each of these components here are part of those college and career standards. Problem solving and teamwork. I love the middle school stuff. What does an appropriate email look like? High fives and handshakes. How do you interact professionally in the work world? And then chit chat, things that you do and say, and things that you don't do and say in a workplace environment. And then again, the 9th grade stuff, again, you could take this 9th grade stuff and do it at grade 3 through 5. You can investigate careers, you could practice interviews. You could talk about personalities and how different people work together. And then what is teamwork? I know that we all know this, but businesses have been saying for decades now, yeah, it'd be nice to have somebody who comes with all the skills that, you know, we need in this environment to work. But if you can give me people who can work with others, I can teach them any technical skill they need. And so teamwork is a piece that we felt fit beautifully for grade 9 through 12, and that's where we stuck it. Okay, back to science in grades 2 through K through 2. Engineering design is set off of, I don't know if you're familiar with PBS's character, Ruff Ruffman, but he's a dog, and he investigates different things, and basically kids learn how to do the right thing by not doing what Ruff does. It's funny, I love it. So kitchen chemistry, sports science, and structures, and so you can see the 3 lessons under each one of those 3 topics there. And we're only up to the E's, you guys. Is this incredible? Anyway, environmental scavenger hunt. I highly recommend this one to do right away outside. It's too much fun. There's a ton of stuff here. As you can see, 8 topics with 3 lessons each. And again, they're all going to come just like that unit did, with a setup, you know, accessing prior knowledge, possibly a video, your required materials on one side of the lesson itself, usually an extension, but definitely a reflection. And a lot of these longer ones, we've been building in reflections that are written. And so a nature journal after a fact in this particular example. And if littles can't write yet, they can draw. So, I mean, onward and upward, that just sounds great to me. So here we go, environmental science. We've got a waste unit that sort of mimics our solar unit that we were talking about today. Food waste, again, this was Nebraska's Keep Nebraska Beautiful program manager helping us with all of this. 3 topics with 4 lessons each. You're gonna love topic 3, by the way. It's gonna challenge you to not throw away your food, even though the label says it's good until X date, and then you look at it and you say, it still looks good, and it doesn't turn into poison. What am I talking about? Why am I throwing this away? Anyway, Mission to Mars. I don't know if you were part of Mission to Mars 1.0, which was a couple of years ago before my time here. But we have a new mission to Mars, and it is following on the backs of the next generation of girl scientists. And so it's for anybody, but it has a bent specifically for females in science. These are the topics of the units underneath the mission to Mars itself, solving how are we going to shelter ourselves while we're on Mars. Given the conditions on Mars, how would you handle all of these things? Another set of units I'm really proud of is the mindfulness pieces that go along with Mission to Mars. And one of the reasons I'm so proud of this is because this can be used anywhere. This can be used now because we are all experiencing some serious isolation where we are right now, and just feeling anxious. the very first lesson is to build a mindfulness glitter jar. And the coolest part about that is once you build it, then you always have it. Basically, you take a mason jar, you fill it with half water, some glycerin. I can't remember the third thing. Anyway, then you throw a bunch of glitter in there and maybe some food dye if you want to, stir it all up. And then basically when you feel anxious and upset or nervous or stressed out, you shake up that glitter jar, then you set it down, you put your feet flat on the floor, your hands in your lap, and you breathe while you watch the glitter fall to the bottom. And it works. Not only does it work for little people like my granddaughter who uses it all the time, but it even works for human beings such as us older folks. It does work. I think you'll love it. You should make one. Okay, and then here's the solar power unit we're talking about today. Sports science, a little bit more in detail. And waste. Triathlon we already kind of talked about, but I mean, look at the content. There's just tons of stuff here. You guys will be so busy in your after school program. It's going to be great. Wind energy. Our good friends at NextEra helped us with this. So 4 lessons per unit here. Oh no, that's a little bit more than that. Oh, no, oh, I get it. That's right. So I had the 4 lesson unit and then the 12 lesson unit. Okay, so that document plus the other PDF, I will send to you in a follow-up email after after we're done today. Well, I'll probably send it tomorrow if you don't mind. There's some other things I want to make sure they get wrapped up. I'm wondering, is it time to go take a look at our solar ovens to see if I kind of feel like, I'm just checking the chat real quick. Okay, Groovy, nobody's panicking or having any major issues like you're going to panic about s'mores. Okay, let's go check. And I have to make sure that my golden retriever doesn't come with me. Okay. I don't know if you heard the lawnmower go by, but my lawn care professional is here, our son. Okay, now, first of all, I have to tell you, it did work. However, it's not completely done enough, but I'm going to make sure I put it back out there because I think Maddie's going to want one of these. But you guys, okay, oh, you guys are so awesome. Okay. Get over there. Okay. Evidence that it worked. Okay, more evidence that it works. Oh, you guys, this is messy. But anyway, it is working. It needs more time. The mallow is not completely done, but that chocolate. Whoo. Okay. Well, that was messy. Sandy day. Oh, you guys, I made a mess. Okay. Pretend like you're not seeing this. One sec. Gotta shut the door. So actually, it was a good call for me not to set up outside because then we'd have the lawn thing going on too. Okay. Oh my gosh, I didn't think to bring in a napkin. And I put that out and let it finish cooking so that I can give my son a s'more when he's done all with my yard. But I wonder if I could stop and see if there are any questions at this point. Oh.
So does the chocolate always melt faster? Could you do like put the marshmallow on first and let it cook for a while? I know we've done it after school and I can't remember if they put them all on together at the same time too. Do we need more time for the marshmallow and less for the chocolate?
Yeah, we just need more time. If the other thing that happened, and I saw this out of the corner of my eye, but I wasn't about to leave you guys alone again. I had it too close to the shade that was coming in the first place. So that was all on me. But again, I could still finish this process inside here. If I had 3 or 4 flashlights, I would just simply set them up to reflect on from the tinfoil and down. And you could bake it in the house. And maybe that's what I'll do. Especially since he's lawn mowing. We don't necessarily want grass clippings in the mallow. I mean, it's just a thought.
do you have to prop your lid open a little bit? Like
Yep.
mine, what did you use to prop yours open? Anything?
So yeah, basically first of all, I kept bending it till I got it just about right, but then I just put a rock on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I bet you could even use a bungee cord. I never thought about that because again, as the sun moves, you need to move and that's the beautiful thing. If you're outside with the kids, I mean, they could be doing a physical activity in between where we were just now online looking at content. They could be doing a physical activity and then going back over and making any adjustments to the tinfoil lid that would need to be made.
Sandra, when we did it after school, they did that activity and then they set them outside and then they were out for physical activity time.
Yes.
You know, recess basically, or some personal physical activity. So they had the freedom to come and go. It wasn't organized. And then their instructions were though to check back every so often. And some students would basically not leave their similar box. Others would like just run and play, you know, do their game or whatever for the time frame and forget to check it. So you had that whole And so they saw that results that like, oh, if I didn't move mine with the sun for those 20 minutes,
right,
mine didn't get melted as well as the person that was standing right there and just moving it every time the shadows came.
Right.
And of course you're talking, you know, 4 o'clock in the afternoon in Western Nebraska. So they did have to do a lot of adjusting.
Yeah. Yep. Very good. And also as the reflection part at the end of this lesson for the students themselves to be able to state what they learned, you know, in whatever vernacular they want. It doesn't have to be fancy or anything, but just to hear them say that, you know, why did I have to keep moving my tin of my lid? Why was that happening? And just having that conversation about the fact that, yeah, believe it or not, the sun, you know, things are moving out here. It doesn't feel like it, but things are actually moving out here.
Sandra, you could also add the caloric value to this. I mean, obviously we know this isn't really a healthy snack, so you could tie in the caloric value of one marshmallow and 1 square of chocolate or whatever, and how much physical activity does it take to burn that amount of calories, and they could be doing, you know, that many jumping jacks or running a relay on how many steps or whatever they had to take to burn the calories that they're going to consume without
Absolutely. I mean, you could just, this is a lesson that could go on and on. I agree. Anything else for the good of the group? Oh, I did want to apologize for one thing because it's sort of rude, and I'm going to do it again when I send out your email in a little bit. I'm sending everybody's email. I'm sending you an email in BCC form because I don't necessarily want to be responsible for sharing everybody's email, especially if you don't want that shared. But I did that on Friday when I sent out the initial email about giving you the content in PDF form. I did that in BCC, and I felt a little bad about it because to me it's not very personal. But again, I don't want to step on anybody's toes, so I'll probably do that again. And yeah, you'll have my email, and feel free to reach out. At the bottom of my email is also my Zoom address, name, whatever you want to call me. Feel free to let me know if there's anything else you'd like to talk about or need help with. I am here to support you guys. I thank you so much for your time today. Really appreciate it. Thanks for the conversation. You guys are rock stars. Go out there and change the world for those kids. That's what you do every day. Thank you for doing that. And I hope that you have a great rest of the conference. I think this thing is going great, don't you?
Yeah.
I'm just thrilled. I'm just thrilled with this conference.
Thanks for having us do the hands-on, Sandra. That really helps. That was good.
Oh, you bet.
Good to be active because we're used to doing that, and it's hard to sit here for 3 days straight in front of a computer screen. So thanks for making us get up and make something and do that. That's helpful. And then I have a sample ready to go.
I know. I thank you guys for all of your input and your help and your discussion. This was really great. Really appreciated it. Take care.
Okay, bye.